Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio, number 331. My name is Mel Popeye Moss, my co-host, Mel O.G. Robbins. We are with Sons of Liberty Riders MC, who are sponsors of this show each and every week, along with some friends. And good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing great. Couldn't be better. But disappointed I missed out on last night.
Oh, let me tell you. And because I talked about this morning in a small rant, I just and I told everybody, hey, look, we went to my my grandson is part of the UTA jazz band, and they were playing over at a place called the New Main Brewery in Arlington, Texas, and so Geezer and I go there. I had to give him some birthday funds. That's what I was really there for, and to listen to some jazz. And while we were there and we were bellying up to the bar and deciding what beer to drink, they have all these selections. So while we were there was this lady there, she's a former student at UTA. So, but that tells me right there that there's a 90% chance that she is a flaming liberal. So we're standing there, we're making small talk with her, and she's asking us about our club, because we have on our cuts. She's asking us about our clubs, and we're making small talk, and right out of the blue, Mel, right out of the damn blue, this lady says to me, "Do you like black people?" Meaning our club. And then I looked at her, Mel, and said, "What made you say that? What made you say that? Because I'm a white guy?" I mean, this is coming from a white lady, a white liberal lady. And Mel, at the same time, she throws it out there. "Do you like the KKK?"
I think she has political parties mixed up.
Mel, my head was wanting to explode. How in the hell did she associate any of that, just off of seeing us with as white men and a motorcycle club participants or members? And how did she associate that with not liking black people and the KKK? And then if you mentioned anything about any other thing, Geezer, our SA, said something about Waco, and then she goes, "That's where the banditos attacked that other club." We're looking at her. You don't know what you're talking about, lady. You need to get educated. You shouldn't be saying things that you do not understand or do not know. And Mel, this is the problem we have as a whole, because the narrative has been pushed out there so much, not only about motorcycle clubs, but about white privilege, this, that, and the other. And Mel, the way that, and I talked about packaging the other day, the way they package this stuff, they're actually getting young people to believe this crap. And so this is the reason pushback is so important. And part of the pushback is educating people. Now we have at our website at texasbikerradio.org, we have drop-down menus that explain what motorcycle profiling is, what happened in Waco, and why there hasn't been a trial. I mean, a conviction. And it's more than likely that there will not be any convictions, because the whole thing was made up of innuendos, lies, and what should I say? Undercover people that were instigating Now I said a lot there. What do you think?
Well, like I say, I'm sorry I missed last night. It it sounded like it could have been real exciting, but you know, what you saw was a how old did you say this gal was?
Oh, she was probably in her, I don't know, maybe late 20s, early 30s.
Okay. You know that I was listening to a discussion today on talk radio about just that kind of a scenario. How these school kids and these college kids, in her 30s, she would actually qualify as a millennial.
Right.
And you know, it brings back memories. My children are now older; they're like in their 30s. Hell, I've got one son that's in his 50s. And I can remember sending him to college and starting to tear my hair out when they'd come home on break and start talking about their acceptance of different things in society and, you know, the ecology of the planet and stuff like that. And I'm wondering, you know, what the hell is going on here? We're spending thousands of dollars to educate these kids, and they're coming home with this kind of bullshit that these professors are teaching them. And as it turns out, you know, you've got these millennials now that are bent so much towards socialism because all that's being hammered into them anymore in schools is white privilege, how whites should not have the privileges that they do. We make way too much money. We don't share anything. We're destroying the planet. And that's what's being pounded into these kids. So now that they're out of the factory and their mush heads have been molded, you run into the bullshit that you ran into last night.
You're exactly right, Mel.
There is no reasoning with it. That is the really frustrating and dangerous part of it. There is no reasoning because you're talking to a manufactured idiot.
Yes.
And it is like set concrete. You can't talk logic because they're beyond that. I can guarantee you, had you pushed the right buttons, and it's probably a good thing I wasn't there because I'd have been tempted to, she'd have become a raving lunatic.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Mel, and the only reason I didn't push those buttons was the fact that you know, it was my grandson's deal.
I know.
His jazz band was playing there, and you know, but let me tell you, that place was pretty cool. It's got 10,000 square feet, Mel. 10,000 square feet, and they are begging for business. Now, I know what it takes to keep the doors open of a business that's 8,000 square feet. That your electrical bills alone, because let me tell you, the electric companies socket to commercial businesses. That alone, I didn't see enough customers there to make it survive unless they've got really deep pockets. Really deep pockets. So, you know, they're looking for customers, but let me tell you, UTA students aren't it. Aren't it. It's, but now we're talking business. But we're, the guy behind the bar was also seeking our business. Hey, you guys want to do an event here? Come see us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, look, everybody else there loved us. Now, not that the lady didn't like us. She's just misinformed. And that's the point here, Mel.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about with bikers.
Yep.
how it relates to it, and how it relates to what's going on in our country. People are misinformed, and there are law enforcement and other agencies and politicians that are taking advantage of it. They're misinformed, they're uneducated. And somehow we've got to figure out how to put together a package that works for us. And that's part of what we'll be doing this summer. Not only getting out there and being ourselves, is putting together a package that works for us. And putting together a package for people to get involved. And I'm talking to say, when I say people, I mean bikers, to get involved. And not only here in this area, but throughout Texas and the nation. We're not going to get anywhere fighting each other.
Nope. In the days of thinking, you know, this too shall pass, are gone.
Yes.
They are gone. If my greatest fear is if we just sit back and watch it happen, it's going to keep getting worse.
Yes.
And if people will just take a look at what's been going on, take a look at the age you are now. Remember back when you were in school. Now, maybe most of the liberties were gone, but I know when you and I were in school, hell, you know, a rifle in the back of the pickup truck to go hunting after school was a common thing.
Yeah.
You know, and just all kinds of things we used to be able to do that you can't do anymore. Everything is regulated the whole bit. And it's not going to go away. It's going to keep getting worse, just like this insidious HB 748.
Yes.
You know, there's more to that than just the helmet thing, because they're trying to take those exclusions away. And that, you know, so you got to wonder what in the hell is really going on here. They're not trying to pass a mandatory helmet law. They're trying to take exclusions away, too, that allows the police to stop you anytime they want to, just to check your driver's license and your insurance certificate.
Yeah. You know, Mel, and we, you know, I guess you finally read that document I sent to you that Double D had sent to me?
Yes, I did. I did. And I forwarded it to our national secretary so he can get it to all of our chapters.
Let me tell everybody that there's a, and it's posted at texasbikerradio.org. It has to do with restaurant and bar owners. It's in the news section. We invite you to go read that document. And Mel, let me tell you, it talks about the constitutional rights of business owners. But Mel, I think that thing almost, you know, when I read it, it goes deeper than just bar owners and restaurant owners, and maybe even businesses like Wilson's, where their customers are being harassed. Now that has led up since we started doing the stockyard stampedes. And since we started pointing out the behavior of that SRT unit in Fort Worth. Now, we'll keep doing that, but I want everybody to read that. If you know a bar owner, if you know a restaurant owner, if you know someone that's got a business or they're being harassed by the law over bikers wearing cuts, or whether, you know, our freedoms of assembly, let us know. Or get that document into their hands, because they can seek redress or retribution, whatever you want to call it, Mel. What would that be?
Intimidation.
Yeah, intimidation by the law, by maybe a liquor enforcement agency like the TABC, or, you know, you can seek damages. That's what I was looking for, Mel. You can seek damages. We encourage you to go read that. And we encourage you to pass it on.
And let's take a leap here. As we talk to these bar owners and these restaurant owners and retail merchants that the police are trying to affect as to who to allow in your store. Now, you know, it's a private business. Public business, it's private. It's not public. It's a private enterprise. What's to say that, okay, so the police are going after bikers now. Let's say they get it in their head they don't like another organization. So they start going around to these businesses and they start dictating that we don't want you to do business with these people either. It can grow, and
yes.
It will. It will. You know, another example of that. I mean, if you see things going on and you think about it. Now, I was kind of a sci-fi buff in my early years. When I was in grade school, I got this award pin for reading 100 science fiction books out of a library. That's how much I was into it. But it taught me something, because all those sci-fi books that I read when I was like in the 8th grade, now that was a hell of a lot of years ago, let me tell you. All those books and the stuff that they talked about in there, I've seen a lot of that come to pass, you know, inventions and devices and weapons that were in there. If you look at things that are going on, and as you watch this society progress, and as my history teacher used to put it, the rise and fall of civilizations, it's like a wheel. I had said some time ago, when my wife and I were talking, we were watching some combatant thing on TV, and I said, you mark my words, you will start seeing gladiator-type events on TV where people are going to be physically competing.
Yes.
And it's going to get rougher, and it's going to start getting deadly, and it'll be accepted. And now, have you been watching this Nightfall stuff, where these guys are swinging axes and swords and the whole bit at each other?
I haven't seen that one. No.
Oh, they just now started doing that. I mean, that's the next step up. And guess what the next step up after that's going to be? It's going to be the old thumbs up or thumbs down, just like the old Roman days in the Colosseum.
Oh, yeah.
Mark my words. We are in such a sick society today. I mean, for God's sakes, for the president to have to bring up at a State of the Union address, we need to pass legislation to stop murdering babies.
Right.
Just before they're born or right after they're born. What the hell's going on in this country?
Yeah. It's incredible.
What the hell is going on?
You know, Mel, the next step from that is to say, hey, you can turn them up to age 18. Hey, he's defective. We need to get him out of here. Let's kill him. He's not what we thought he would be.
There were movements like that back in the 30s.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where they wanted to do away with certain people. And now that they're identifying genes and chromosomes, don't think they're not going to start looking at some of this shit, and they're going to declare genes and chromosomes that are alive and well in bikers as being inappropriate and need to be eliminated. Because most bikers are alphas, independent people.
Right.
Perhaps a little too laid back in some ways, but in other areas would fight to the death for freedom. So, you know, there's a lot of sick shit going on out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you best keep your eye out on it, because don't just look at what's happening in the biker world. Look at what's happening outside of our world, and that'll tell you what's coming at you That's the storm on the horizon. They're now killing babies third term, just prior to birth, and I understand they're trying to submit legislation and back on the East Coast that you can kill a baby right after they're born.
New York.
Yeah.
New York.
Now,
Virginia.
Granted, it is not a biker subject, and I'm sorry, but it's an indication of the sick society we're in, and if you let these inbred, low-life, pond scum idiots continue with that kind of a venue, you can only imagine if they get by with that, now they're coming for us.
Yeah, they'll be looking for anybody that has the biker gene to get rid of them.
Even my wife said, she said, what's next, old people?
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you.
Okay.
The VA's
Beyond
got
a certain age,
yeah.
You're not productive.
Yeah. The VA has end-of-life counseling, Mel. Oh, yeah.
The old death camp. Yep.
Yeah. There's nothing more we can do for you. Adios. Adios.
And let me tell you, you 50-year-olds aren't considered spring chickens with the millennials.
That's true. That's true. I remember the day you never trust anybody over 30. Well, Mel,
that's right.
Now we're over 30. So now you want to say never trust anybody under 30.
Right.
Or maybe under 40. So, yeah, Mel, you're right. But all this thing does relate back to what we are experiencing as bikers. Whether you want to admit that or not, it does. Because people, right now, it seems like young people are gullible as hell. Because they haven't learned anything on their way up. They've been protected. They've been sent to these schools that indoctrinate instead of teach. And the result is what we see now. And the thing about it is we let it happen on our watch. Because we
That's
keep...
right. I mean,
Go ahead. Yeah.
There's total lunacy going on right now. And again, we get some guys that complain. Some of our listeners complain because they think sometimes we get off biker subjects. But you got to connect the dots.
Yes.
Like we're saying today, start connecting the dots. Because if you don't connect those dots, the items right now that we talk about that may not be directly biker related are coming for you.
Yeah.
Look at what's going on in Virginia. You got the top 3 elected officials in that state about to be taken out. The governor, because he dressed up like a black person back in the 80s at a college party. The lieutenant governor, someone's making sexual allegations that he forced some chick to give him a blowjob. And now you got the Attorney General of Virginia that's being accused of drawing black pictures and dressing up as a black person at some school party. Well, shit, when I was in high school, I can remember Halloween parties where it was a lot of guys put on the black paint and went out, disguised as a black person, trick-or-treating or going to parties and stuff like that, because that was socially acceptable back then. I'm not saying it was right, but that's what was going on.
Yeah.
Now, as we've grown up, did I ever do it? No. Could I have? Yeah. I just, the opportunity never presented itself, but I probably would have done it. But as you progress and you learn, today, would I go out and do that? No. Because I know stuff like that is not socially acceptable today. Back then it was, but I mean, we had TV shows like Amos and Andy. You had Aunt Jemima pancakes and syrup. all kinds of crap, because that's what was going on in society at that point in time. But now they're trying to crucify people for what they did as a kid.
Mel, Amos and Andy were funny as hell. I loved their shows.
I'd love to find some film strips on that stuff, but I bet you can't even find it anymore.
Oh, yeah, you can.
I bet it's been eradicated. Oh, can you? Okay.
Oh, yes, you can. Just travel to Canton.
I mean, that was some funny stuff.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Hilarious. They were great comedians. Great comedians. There should be nothing wrong with that. They were wonderful.
You have to be able to laugh at yourself. And I've met a lot of black people in my life that could laugh at themselves just as well as laughing at other people, because they were intelligent people. They were intelligent human beings. They weren't fucking radical.
Yeah. That's true.
And that's the key word, radical.
Mel, and we're off on the race on this because of what that lady said to us. We're not about race. We're about our constitutional rights. We're about, hell, Mel, we went to bat for a black community established in 1887 that'd been hauling water for 33 years, Mel, and they're still hauling water.
Known as a free slave community.
And the last thing we are, and the way most biker clubs are arranged, they're anything but racist. That's not what we're about. And I know, other than what we know out of the history books, I don't know that much about the KKK. Of course, that's all being wiped away, isn't it, Mel?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, the KKK originated with the Democrats. It was a democratic organization.
And let me point out, Mel, about last night. What were all the Democrat women wearing?
White.
White.
May as well have been white sheets.
That's right.
And hoods.
That's right.
I don't think they caught the irony.
I don't think so either. But I will say one thing. Whoever posted that picture on Facebook of their television, and they had a towel over Nancy Pelosi's face.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to watch her. What I
those
said,
big guys chewing her cud.
Yeah, what I said this morning was she looked like a cow chewing her cud, and other people have been saying the same thing.
Yep.
So but there is I think we're talking about it today. There's a news program. It's not. That's I think it's called Vox, trying to sound like Fox News, I guess. Anyway, they were saying that every bit of Trump's speech last night was about keeping the white race in charge, keeping white privilege up front. I don't know how they got that out of that. It was one of the greatest speeches.
I don't either.
It was one of the greatest speeches ever done by a president. The guy's not doing anything wrong. He's trying to help change the course of this country, which was going into failure because of Barack Obama's failures and his over-regulating. The environmental kooks. The environmental kooks have gone nuts today because he didn't mention the environment last night. So they're all going crazy.
Well, none of those bitches in white had a U.S. flag pin either.
Yeah, that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot.
You know the pin they were wearing? They were wearing a pin that was in memory of one of those illegal children that died at the border.
Well,
and that was the parents' fault.
Yeah,
well, sure as hell wasn't the border's fault.
No. No. So they can wear all the pins they want to for foreigners. That's what they do. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. We know what their goal is. We know what it is they're doing. What we have to do is recognize that, hey, this is not the path we want to take. Eventually, in socialism, you run out of other people's money, meaning yours and mine. Because that's who they'll go to foot the bill for all this. Understand that most of these people up there, including Bernie Sanders, Mel, who touts socialism to no end, but he's building his fourth house, Mel. He is a millionaire. He is a millionaire. He's not willing to share his wealth. He wants us to share ours, what little of it we have as working Americans. And you know, everything that's gone wrong in our country is generally because of liberalism and because of Democrats who will tell you their ideas will save everybody. Now they're bitching because people can't live on Social Security, but they're the ones that handed it to us. So what happened to that? You were going to be set for life with this. You were going to be taken care of. And now they're screaming about it. So I don't know, Mel. I mean, it's a vicious circle out there. But I see us bikers. And what I'm suggesting to everybody, and we're going to have a legislative strike force meeting pretty soon. Well, if you watch and look and see what's happening out there, if you see out there in Washington, D.C., in front of the Supreme Court, they can get 500 to 1,000 people in front of that courthouse within hours. Within hours. That's how well organized they are. And if we don't get organized, we're going to get devoured. We're going to get devoured by law enforcement. And eventually, the damn motorcycles are going to be too dangerous for you to be on. Wait till they get there. It's guns now. Next, it'll be motorcycles and whatever else. Mel in Austin the other day, they had their first death on a scooter. Those sidewalk scooters.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Now that's not going to count as a motorcycle accident, is it?
Well, it might.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, everybody. And it all does relate to bikes, to bikers. Don't think that it doesn't. If you ignore it, you're going to find out. You got anything else you want to bring up, Mel, while we're thinking about this?
I had one thing flash in my head, but it was a goldfish headed for the other side of the tank, I think. That was something I was going to bring up. Now it's beyond me. I'll remember next time.
Yeah. And the Texas COCI? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, everyone needs to keep thinking push back.
Yes.
You have to push back in everything.
That's right. One way you're going to push back is subscribe to our YouTube channel, Texas Biker Radio News on YouTube. The other way you're going to push back is join us March 2nd. March 2nd for the next Stockyard Stampede called Push Back. We go to the stockyards. It's really simple. We go to the stockyards. We hang out. We take pictures with the tourists. We have lunch. We have a good time. And I promise you, there's nothing that pisses that SRT unit off worse than us being there.
That's right.
Join us.
Another way to push back is to come to, especially the Region 2 DFW area. If you're down in Houston, certainly go to Region 3. But for the DFW area people, Region 2 of the Texas Coalition of Clubs and Independents, an important organization to come visit. Join. Doesn't cost you anything to join, just come to the meetings. But we meet bi-monthly. Next meeting is on March, I think it's March 17th, at the Southern Junction in Royce City. Meeting starts at 2 o'clock. Everyone shows up about noon, but all we discuss is politics, what's going on, what your rights are, what you should and shouldn't do. We've got an attorney that's there all the time, and it's a good place to be. We see a lot of independents there, a lot of different clubs. It's a great organization. Please come.
That's right, Mel. That's right. Understand, if you don't push back, they're coming for us.
Pushed.
They're coming for all of us. Everybody on two wheels. Everybody. You don't think that's true? Stand by and watch if you do not push back. And so we do have, I'll make a video of TexasBikerRadio.org showing you where things are at, how to go around the page to find items of interest, for people who may not understand our world and understand the truth of it when it comes to what's happening here in Texas, Waco in particular, the Vagos MC incident that happened in the stockyards at Wilson's Leather Goods. And remember to take video if you are stopped by a police officer. Doesn't matter if it's not anything that's out of the ordinary. If you're receiving a deserved ticket, take video. We need to document. We need to document the actions of these police officers, whether you're on a bike or not. Even if they barge into a business where you're at, take video. Take video. Let everybody know about it. If you have to, make it public. You can make your videos public now on Facebook. You can use YouTube. Do it. Document. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. With that, everybody, it's going to be a cloudy weekend, maybe a wet weekend. I don't know. Whatever it is, we'll deal with it. Not looking
good.
Yeah. Whatever it is, we'll deal with it. With that, everybody, ride safe. Bye-bye, Mel.
Bye now.